After you get the visor down real clear, obviously check the canopy for loose items. You're ready to go for engine start. Start ready is going to be the same position for the PCL. However, you're going to see that it's going to be in a position on your ICAS relative to other higher priority annunciator lights. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Basically, this is going to move around during your engine start. So you want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on this. So you got your close and latched, and then test the canopy, lights out as normal. You're going to go nav and anti-collision as you're used to. No PMU fail status lights. PCL's advanced start ready. We got prop clear, crew chief, fire bottle, no fueling locks in 50 feet. And then you're going to look down here. Your temps are going to be right here, 14, and your volts right here, 24.5. So legal to go. So good temps, good volts, start ready, limited, ready to start. Monitor to start. You'll see this is already moving, but all these gauges will come up like you're used to. Start ready is now here as all these lights start to extinguish. We'll bump it up like you're used to, right? And then pull back 2 clicks. We have no power. In this case, we're going to start flipping switches. Here, the difference is going to be you're going to turn your aux bed on and leave it on. So, gen switch on, and then aux bed on, and you're pretty much going to leave it. And then you're going to move more towards your normal flow of the checklist. We'll leave the avionics master off for just a little bit. We'll go ahead and start moving. We'll go ahead and start moving our normal switches. Alright, so continuing the before taxi check. I got on, normal, good blinker, masks on and secure. We have no uncaged and adjusted, so you're going to be wanting to probably say that every time. So on, normal, good blinker, mask on and secure, and then G-suit checks back here. Here's where you're going to start this flow. You're going to check your lamps one more time. So this is another big difference. You're going to make sure that your lamps check after avionics master is on. You should see the normal lights light up as far as what you're expecting. And then you're going to go ahead and do your audio panel and AOA, and all of those things are going to be located where you're familiar. So we'll go ahead and bring the stick back, and we'll go AOA low and then AOA high, and we'll go forward on here, and then we'll go check the rest of the audio panel that you're used to checking. You're going to check all these switches. You don't have to really do anything with this because that was done already. So going back again, it's on, normal, good blinker, mask on and secure, my G-suit checks, my lamps check, audio panel, and then once we're done with that, then we're going to flow to your normal speed brake check. So speed brake isn't going to be a peanut light on the dash, it's going to be down here. So you're going to look at the crew chief, give him the speed brake sign, speed brake out, lights on. Notice how it's right here in your right MFD. Move the flaps to landing, flaps landing, lights out, flaps takeoff, lights out, and then speed brake 1 and stem. Let's go trim 8 on. Now it's time to test the TCAS. How you'll do that, go into your nav page, go to TCAS, should see this icon right here, and then normally you'll see the standby. So you go TCAS standby right here, click on that button, you'll see standby here, go ahead and go to on. After you go to on, now hold this button in. Hold it in, and now you're going to see the TCAS test. And you should hear TCAS test okay. Alright, now you're ready to set up your FMS. And here's where the flow is going to help you out. So first thing I do is I go to root. So this is your origin Destination, this is going to be a local MOA sortie, so these are going to be good today. Flight number, that's where you're going to put your call sign. So in order to input things on your upfront control panel, you're going to go to FMS Scratchpad or SPad. That's what this button is right here. That'll always bring you to this page so you can start typing. Then you're going to start typing the letters that you want to put in here. In this case today, we're going to be phaser 01. So we're going to hit the one that corresponds to F, and then you're going to take this knob and you're going to go ahead and scroll so that you can either go from 3 or the letters at the bottom. So we hit this, 3 came up, we spun this to find F. Now let's find A. Put that in the flight number. Now for route, this is basically loading the flight plan all at once. It's kind of like loading flight plan 1 or flight plan 2. You're going to find them in user routes as far as the MOA local sorties. Today we're going to be off of 15 right. You're not going to see 15R or left. They're all assuming that it's going to be pretty much 15 right. We're going to be a VFR day, so South MOA VFR 15. If it was IFR, South MOA IFR 15 if you're expecting to come back via the ILS. Same thing for runway 33 left, South MOA VFR or South MOA IFR. So in this case, South MOA VFR, we're going 15. It's going to ask you to execute this. We're going to say execute. Yes, that is the flight plan we want. If you want to check it, we can go back to the legs page. And you're going to see we're going to start at Randolph. So it's the VOR falls, and then we're going to be in the MOA for a while. This discontinuity basically means once we get to falls, it's not going to cycle anymore. Pretty much there's going to be a break in the flight plan. Don't worry about that so much. It's okay. So you see falls, we're going to be in the MOA, and then we're going to go to auger, spur, truck stop, then to VFR entry. This flight plan checks. So that's the route setup. So from route, we're going to go to init-ref. We're going to get ident. We're going to look now at our nav database. We want to make sure that this is current. So you can see from the one we're operating in right now is from July 16th to August 13th. Obviously not current, but in the jet, if you were to see this, go ahead and call maintenance, let them know that we need to update this nav database. This secondary one is the one that's awaiting to be activated. So as long as this one is good, then you're good. So yep, that checks. Let's go to position init. What we're going to do is we're going to look to make sure that the FMS position is very close to the IRS position right here. So go ahead and compare these numbers. They're pretty close. We're looking good. Alright, we got, I think that was fuel. We'll worry about this here in a little bit. So we just did our route and then our init ref. One thing we can't do in the sim here is to activate advanced mode. How you're going to do that is you're going to go into DTS DVR, you're going to click that thing, and then you're going to see the option up here to change. It'll say like tactical data, configuration data, all that other stuff, and that'll be in this button here. Go ahead and cycle through those until you see configuration data, and then hit start. After you hit start, it'll think for about 2 seconds, and then you'll see advanced mode here as well. So getting out of chocks, you should see left and right pitot heat, nose wheel steering, not fuel low, obviously nose wheel steering, so NWS, and then advanced mode is another display on your ECAS as well. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to change our nav source. Here's where you're going to get either FMS needles or nav needles. Think of this as hitting nav on your upfront control panel in the A model. So green arrows or blue arrows. So basically these are your blue arrows and these are your green arrows. When you go to nav, that's the only way that you're going to get this course button here. This course is going to allow you to input whatever course you want on a nav aid. So the departure out of here is the 157 radial. Enter that guy in there right now. Cool. When you go to FMS, notice that that goes away and you're not able to get that anymore. So in order to set it up, go to nav first, 157, and then if you are going to depart using GPS, go ahead and click back over to FMS. Standard, this needle, this green needle, is always going to be on VOR. You can always change it to FMS, but standard here is we'll have that VOR. And then this blue needle is going to be on FMS. So green VOR, blue FMS. Okay. And then we already have our 170 heading. So notice this is how you change your heading bug. Click this guy, and you can either rotate this knob to change it, like you guys are used to, or you can direct input 170 for the check turn after takeoff. 170. Cool. We got our blue needles. This is where this button right here is for your highest and your lowest G to be displayed. That's a toggle on and off. We are going to keep these on. So click on this and then hold this G reset so that you reset these values. If it was an over G, you wouldn't be able to reset these values. From there, you're going to set your bingo. So notice how we went in kind of a U. Took care of the root and the init ref. Moved on over here to your nav source, input the course, move down here, heading, this pointer, got the G limits, got the G readout, reset the G's, and now we're going to move on over to setting either joker or bingo. In this case, we have a joker today of 600, so we're going to set that in there. This will come up and say bingo once we hit 600, but for us, we know that's our joker, so when in flight we pass 600, we'll reset it then to our bingo fuel, 350 out of the MOA. In this case today we had a bingo of 350. So let's set 600 for the joker. Cool. After that, we're going to come up to the UFCP. Be careful once you hit the PFD button. This is where you can change your altitude bugs, your radar altitude bugs, and your speed bugs that are on your primary flight display. So your PFD button is going to be affecting all of this. However, realize that when you are going to input a number, see this little circle? That means you're going to input it in this field. The first field that comes up is your actual altimeter setting. So some guys have put the assigned altitude in their altimeter setting. So I'll give you an example. Today the altimeter at the field is 2992, and they said, hey, descend and maintain 3000. Guys will come up to their PFD and they won't really hit this, which is your actual altitude bug. They'll hit this and they'll put 3000, enter. And now that just input in your primary flight display your altimeter, but you can see in your standby still 2992, so just be careful for that. So let's turn it back. Cool, altimeter set, and then we're going to climb up to 3000. Radar altimeter, you normally set this at 200, and then your speed's normally at 200. Then you're going to come up to your system, display, HUD, and then you should see it defaults on to your climb dive marker. You should see waterline. Realize that that's changing your flight path marker here. Will be pretty much standard here in waterline, so just go ahead and click that. Cool. While we're here in the up front control panel, channel number 1 is ground. And for whatever reason it doesn't let you input this, but it's going to be 149.125 or channel 24. And then obviously we're going to depart here using the Randolph VOR. And that's where you put your nav aids. So this is UHF, this is VHF, and this is going to be your home screen. All this is going to be your home screen. UHF, VHF, nav aid, and then here's your squawk. Let's say they tell us to squawk 2424. Once we call up ground here, that's where this will go. Alright, cool. So that's pretty much your flow as far as your upfront control panel and your MFD. Now check your flight instruments. Check to make sure you get your good DME. You get your good bearing from there as far as the green arrow goes. Nothing is showing a bank or the wrong attitude. And then here's pretty much where, if you haven't already, I'll get ATIS. So I'll pull out this nav knob right here. Let's say alpha winscom 2992 alpha 15 right unrestricted. So 2992. We set that in twice. My fund insurance check 2992 set twice 760 over 765. And then here's where you're going to clean up your panel. You should see, if you haven't already, there should be a green nose wheel steering. So just go ahead and hit the pinky switch. It's going to be located just like where it is on the A model. Hit the nose wheel steering on, and then you'll see annunciator nose wheel steering. These should be gone. Left and right fuel low lights. Right. So in the sim we started off with not so much fuel. In the chocks you'll have obviously full bags. Okay, it's about 1,000. So these would be gone. And really, this is the acceptable annunciator lights that you're going to want to see. This is the pitot heat. And you're going to want to make sure that these are off, because in the B model, if the pitot heat is on for an extended period of time without airflow, they overheat and it actually kicks off or gives you an air data computer fail. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is your ECAS checks with these two lights. Okay, after that you're ready to rock. So let's go through this whole flow from front to back. Alright, we got good engine start, 2 clicks to get it over the hump. Gen switch, aux bat. Wait a minute for the avionics master. And this, we get the green light in a max. Got on, normal, good blinker, mask on and secure, G-suit checks. My lamps check. Check the panels. Everything looks good. After we got the AOA low and then high. Look at the crew chief. Speed brake signal. Spirit galley lights on. Spirit galley lights on. Flaps landing. Lights out. Flaps takeoff. Lights out. Spirit coordinates 10. Hold. TCAS checks. We'll leave that on. Route. New Joker, 650. Get ATIS. Pull out the nav knob. Alright, I got my flight instruments check. I got 2992 set twice, 760 over 760, minus these right fuel and left fuel low, my ECAS checks. And that'll be obviously a call and response item there. And then ready to rock. Ground phaser 01 flight of 2 with alpha taxi, false 6. Phaser 01, Raj, taxi 15 right via Golf, squawk 2425, and you're clear to Randolph via the false 6. 2425, phaser 01. And now, the last thing we're going to do, go to activate here. And you should see when you're squawking altitude 2425 ACT, and now you're ready to rock out of chocks.